Let's go back to the scene.
Everybody ready?
Y'all,
Give us 10 seconds. We're ready.
All right. Sheriff Troy Nails, Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office, and with me is Lieutenant Charles Kachala with the Precinct 4 Constable's Office. About 1:40 this morning, we received a call for a property check in the Sienna Plantation subdivision, the house behind us. Deputies responded to the scene. A neighbor called and stated that she saw an individual running down the street and called and thought it was a little suspicious, so we had deputies respond to the residence to do a property check. 3 of our sheriff's deputy units responded to the scene, as well as a deputy with the Precinct 4 Constable's Office. They entered the residence through a back door that was not secure. They were then going through the process of clearing the home, and at some point in time during clearing that home, a sheriff's deputy discharged his weapon, thought that there was a suspect inside the house. It came to be that the individual that the deputy shot was a Precinct 4 deputy constable. Right now there is an enormous amount of personnel out here. There's a joint investigation being conducted from the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office as well as the Texas Rangers. Statements are being taken with the deputies that were on the scene, and it's a very somber moment. The family has been notified. Constable Nels, Trevor Nels, is at the hospital with the deputy's wife, and I was notified just a few minutes ago that the deputy passed. So, you know, what else do you say? You got to pray for everybody. Just a tragic scene here. So I'm open to some questions. I hope maybe I can answer, maybe I can't. But.
Sheriff, we understand from some of the scanner traffic that maybe there was a problem with the radios working inside the home, or
I don't have any information on that. I don't have any information as whether it was a communications problem or I don't know. But what we do know, Jeff, is there's a very thorough investigation being conducted right now to make sure that we piece all this together.
Sheriff, is your agency the lead investigators on this?
Well, we're doing a joint investigation with the Texas Rangers. So we have 2 Texas Rangers on scene. And the deputies are obviously going to be placed on administrative leave pending the investigation, but no, we would treat this as we would treat any officer involved shooting.
Tell me about the deputy constable. Did you release any information about him? Lieutenant, what kind of man was he? What might stepping up to the
Deputy Caleb Rule. He's worked.
I got it.
He's worked for the Precinct 4 Constable's Office for the last 2 years. Prior to coming to work for us, he worked as a detective with the Missouri City Police Department. He's married, has children. He's assigned a Riverstone contract here in Fort Bend County. He's one of our night shift patrol deputies.
And the officer that pulled the trigger, how long has he been on the force, Sheriff?
I don't know. I didn't pull their personnel files, but he's a contract deputy out here in this Sienna Plantation subdivision on night shift. So I don't know his tenure, how long he's been employed with us. But
just to be clear, you say on contract, does that mean was he on duty, or was this his extra job? Or,
No. Now, the sheriff's, Sienna Plantation, obviously this subdivision is very large, and they have a supplemental patrol contract through the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office. So we have deputies, patrol deputies, that are strictly assigned to this neighborhood. So our deputy that was patrolling tonight in Sienna Plantation, his assignment, as it relates to the Precinct 4 deputy constable, he was on a contract in Riverstone, which is a neighbor to this subdivision, and the relationship that we have with the Precinct 4 constable's office. I mean, these deputies work so well together, and he helped, he responded as well, as they often do, to help each other out on calls for service.
Was that house vacant at the time, or
Yes, the house is vacant.
were you guys able to determine if someone did break in?
We're conducting the investigation right now, and right now we don't believe there was any forced entry other than what I told you, that the back door was unsecure.
What kind of emotional toll does this take, on your department, First Lieutenant, and then Sheriff, I'll get you to answer the same question, but just tell us what are you going through? Tell us about what you're telling your guys out here.
Well, a lot of our personnel don't know about it yet. That's a call we'll make this morning. I've only been with the constable's office 2 years, or 3 years actually. As far as I know, we haven't had an officer involved fatality like this, even prior to my employment with the Precinct 4 constable's office. So it's going to be tough.
Can you release the deceased's name right now? Is that okay?
We'll have more information too, and I'm sure you all are going to be out here for the next several hours, and we'll try to provide you more updated information. But of course, you ask about the emotion. How do you explain? How do you? I don't know. All right.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Are we Oh, what a terrible story. We want to go back over some information that Fort Bend County Sheriff Troy Nels just told us. They responded to a property check call in the Sienna Plantation area around 1:40 this morning. The home that they responded to was vacant. They did see a back door that was open. At that point, Sheriff's deputies unit entered, and also a deputy constable's office unit arrived on the scene. As they were clearing the home, at some point, a sheriff's deputy, it was a case of mistaken identity, shot the deputy constable. That constable was airlifted to Memorial Hermann Hospital downtown, and we have just learned that deputy constable, who worked with the Precinct 4 office for the last 2 years, has passed away. It's an awful morning for the Precinct 4 Constable Trevor Nels, who is the brother of Fort Bend County Sheriff Troy Nels, is there at the hospital now. I'm sure we will hear from Trevor in just a little bit, but you can see at that press conference, everyone's shaken up. We do not know if there was a suspect on the loose. We are working to get that information and clarify a little more about this, but the most important information we did learn is that unfortunately that deputy constable did pass away. And we also learned that prior to working at Precinct 4, that deputy constable was also a detective in Missouri City. We'll have more information after the break.